commercial break. This is Financial Markets with me, Julius Nsubuga, and this is where we give you the best of business broadcasting, and it's always typically driving business. And so we're having a look at some of the stock market news right here, and we're looking at the market snapshot for the Uganda Securities Exchange. Of course, nothing much is happening since probably it's a Monday morning, and we have a lot going in all throughout the day, going on all throughout the day, and also probably all throughout the week. So basically, this is just a picture of what is really happening over there in terms of share prices. But keeping an eye on the share price is the most important thing. So looking at how it is basically changing, it gives us a very good glimpse of how the company is performing on the stock exchange. And sometimes it's also a reflection on how the company is performing. Sometimes, but not all the time. So if you have a look at KCB Group, yes, KCB Group is also cross-listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and it's one of those companies listed right here and also in Nairobi. So it is trading at a share price of 1,411.64 shillings, and that is the share price for KCB Group. And also Equity Group, Equity Bank Limited is also listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So you can just basically have also a look. We shall have a look at how these two are performing on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, including the East African Breweries Limited. Now, having a look at the Kenya Airways stock and how it's performing, well, right here, nothing much of a change since probably the US market snapshot is indicating that nothing much of a change so far this morning. But of course, as the day goes by, you just never know. But it's basically trading at a share price of 120.01 shillings per share. That is Kenya Airways. Let's have a look at MTN Uganda, the recent entrant. As of last year, it also listed on the exchange, and we've been seeing some bit of volatility on the MTN shares, indicating some sort of activity going on here and there. So let's just wait and see how it performs all throughout the day, all throughout the week, all throughout the month, and all throughout the year. However, the share price is now standing at 180 shillings as we speak right now. So the percentage changes, we shall see that all throughout the day. And well, these are basically opening prices. So when you look at the opening price for National Insurance Corporation right here, it's now standing at, it's trading at a share price of 5.80 shillings as we speak right now. That's the National Insurance Corporation. Let's have a look at the Nation Media Group. Nation Media Group, if you have a look here, it is basically trading at a share price of 600.07. Well, there has been a bit of a change on the Nation Media Group share price. We shall have a look at it basically throughout the day. We shall keep monitoring it and probably see where it goes. But that's probably a good indication most times. It's also cross-listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. That's Nation Media Group. So also when you look at New Vision, of course, New Vision is also here, still listed on the exchange. It had some bit of challenges here and there of late, but we can see here that its share price is 160 shillings as we speak right now. Now, Stanbic Bank is also kind of a volatile, it's also relatively volatile, and we see some bit of changes. So what we normally look at is volatility of a certain stock, an increase or a decline. That's what matters. So without those happening, it is very important to declare a stock redundant or probably dormant if probably its stock is not increasing or even reducing. So all those parameters are very important to keep an eye on, because an increase is a good thing for someone who has been holding the stock. Probably they are free to sell at that point. But if it goes down, it's also an opportunity for someone out there to buy. So that kind of change is very important. When you have a look at the Stanbic Bank, yes, trading at 160. Stanbic Bank is trading at 26.05 shillings per share. That is Stanbic Bank Uganda, and that is its share price as we speak right now. So to say, if we make basically go up, you will see also Uganda Clays Limited, the first company to be listed in 2000. Right here is trading at a share price of 22 shillings. 22 shillings. So if you want to buy a piece of Uganda Clays stock, it is basically trading at 22 shillings per share. Now, if we may also have a look at other companies down there, there is also Umeme. If we may go just a bit down further, you'll see Umeme just right here. It is trading at a share price of 175 shillings per share as we speak right now. But these are all opening share prices, so we hope to see what happens all throughout the day and also all throughout the week. So keeping an eye on the share price is the most important thing, and that is how basically it is standing right now. So not much of a change has happened. So we wait and see how the day goes by. So if we may also have a look now at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Well, the Nairobi Securities Exchange is more like it is they're very, very good counterparts with the Uganda Securities Exchange, and it's a very important thing to also have a look at how those companies over there are doing. So if anybody in Uganda really wishes to buy shares in East Africa, the first country that they would look at would be Nairobi, because of its volatility, and that's what really matters. So if we may also look at those stocks and how they are performing. Now, having a look at some of these companies here, you have Safaricom, you have Kenya Power, you have Home Africa, KenGen, you have Kenya Commercial Bank, and all these are basically just right here listed. So if we may start with Safaricom. Safaricom, of course, many of us are well versed with the company, and it's a telecom company and also listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. One of those volatile stocks, really, because of the brand of the company and also because of its history being the first company to really invent mobile money. So that's where it started. But of course, the story, we don't know much about the background where it all came from, but Safaricom was the first company to launch mobile money. But right here, if you may have a look at Safaricom's stock, well, the change so far this morning indicates that Safaricom's stock, as we speak right now, is up by 1.45%, and thus that is being represented, or that is an equivalent of an upward trend of about 0.5 points, and thus bring it to a share price of 35 Kenyan shillings per share. That is Safaricom. So this is quite something as well. We also saw last week, the beginning, we saw that Safaricom's shares, or probably stock, was a bit also up by some percentage, and sometimes it was a bit down. And so that kind of change is a very important trend to closely watch. So it's up by 1.45%. If you have Kenyan stock, you must be a happy person, because probably if you have Safaricom stock, you must be, your shares have increased by about 1.45% in value. When you have a look at Kenya Power as well, Kenya Power right here, Kenya Power is a very important company to look out as well. And of course, just by Kenya Power, you understand what that is. So it's a company dealing in utility, power, most especially. And so you can see right here that its stock is up by about 1.3% as we speak. And that is represented by a 0.02 points increase, and also bringing it to about 101.56 Kenyan shillings per share. That is Kenya Africa. That is Kenya Power. If we may have a look at Home Africa company, its share price is down. Probably say its stock is down by 2.7% as we speak right now, and thus down by about 0.01 points, bringing it to 0.36 Kenyan shillings per share. If you have a look at KenGen as well, KenGen, nothing much is happening. Nothing much is happening as of now. No change at all in the share price, but we can see that its price stands at 3.68 Kenyan shillings per share. The same goes for Kenya Commercial Bank. Right now, no change is being recorded as per the change in the stock value, but you can see here that it is trading at a share price of 44.60. That is Kenya Commercial Bank. Now, if you have a look at MBV right here also is a company listed. For those of you probably who have heard of the company or probably who have shares in it, it's down by 8.7% and bringing it to 4.2 shillings per share. If you may have a look at Centum, Centum Investment Company Limited. It's also cross-listed on the Ugandan Securities Exchange, and right here it is indicating that its stock is down by 0.39%, and that is an equivalent of losing about 0.05 points, bringing it to 12.7 Kenyan shillings per share. Absa Bank is also there listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and it's basically indicating here that nothing much of a change is happening on its stock, and thus its share price as we speak is at 12.40 Kenyan shillings per share, I beg your pardon. If you have a look at Equity Bank also today is basically indicating nothing much is happening, no change as of yet recorded. This is by CNBC Africa. But we can see here that well, it's trading at a share price of 52 shillings as we speak, 52 Kenyan shillings per share. That's Equity Bank right now as we speak. But of course, these figures are changing all the time. So in the next 1 hour or two, the figures may be different. So that should not be really a surprise. So when you have a look at Scan Group also a company listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange is also indicating here that its shares is up by, its stock is up by 0.24%, and that is an equivalent of 0.01 points increase, and thus bringing it to 4.10 Kenyan shillings per share. Cooperative Bank, well, is also listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and we can see here that its shares are up by 3.01%. That is Cooperative Bank. Samir Africa as well, its share price is up by a whopping 9.39%. That is quite something. So that is an equivalent of an additional 0.23 points, bringing it to 2.68 Kenyan shillings per share. So far we can say that Samir Africa's shares are up. Probably we must investigate why, and it's a very important question for you to understand that is to ask yourself why this sudden increase. So something has happened probably in the company's valuation, probably a merger or an acquisition or a major funding or a major partnership probably can also push the share price up. But of course, we wish to investigate and see what has happened really to this whooping increase in the stock, in the value of the stock. 9.39%, that's basically rarely seen. So let's have a look also at, if we may actually go down on other companies, you can have a look at East African Cables and the rest of the other companies. So many companies actually to look at. So if you may turn your eyes right here on the East African Cables, which is a very interesting trend as well, having looked at Samir Africa's stock up by about 9.39%, you have East African Cables stock down by about 9.09%. And that is also quite a very interesting fall as we can see right here. So that is being represented by a fall of about 0.11 points, bringing it to 1.1 Kenyan shillings per share. So that is really an important trend to keep really in front of our eyes. So we basically wait to see what happens all throughout the day. So when you have a look at Kenya RE, that right here it's indicating that its share price is down by 2.2% and thus down by about 0.05 points, bringing it to 2.22 Kenyan shillings per share as we speak right now. So also when you have a look at the Flame Tree Group, nothing much is happening as of this morning, but it is indicating here that its share price is standing at 1.15 Kenyan shillings. That's if you want to have a piece of Flame Tree Group. Fahari's stock is up by 0.34%, as you can see here. So note that these companies they're over 60. They're over 60 companies. So having a look at each and every one of them just to see which companies are gaining, which ones are losing as we speak right now. But of course, this is just a general representation, but there's a lot happening also right now as we speak. So you just never know what's going to happen all throughout the day. Now, if you may have a look at CIC Insurance, its share price is up by 0.97%, and thus that being an equivalent of 0.02 points added onto the Fahari stock price, thus bringing it to 5.82 Kenyan shillings per share. I beg your pardon. Actually, we were looking at the CIC Insurance, and as you can see here, it's up. Its stock is up by 0.97%, and that's indicating that there's an increase of about 0.02 points, bringing it to about 2.09 Kenyan shillings per share. British American Tobacco is also listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, also listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange right here. And you can see here its share price is up by 0.29% and thus indicating a 0.02 points increase, bringing it to 6.9 Kenyan shillings per share. So having a look at other companies, East African Breweries Limited is also listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, and right here it's indicating that its stock price is up by 0.33%, and that is a 0.5 points gain, thus bringing it to 150 Kenyan shillings per share. So that is East African Breweries Limited. There are other companies listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and those also include Kabasidi Investments. Kabasidi Investments, if you have shares there, you need to know that the share price is down by 1.32%, and that is a 0.15 points loss of the value of the stock, and thus bringing it to 11.20 Kenyan shillings per share as we speak right now. I&M Bank. I&M Bank, its shares, its stock is down by 0.97%. So also that is an equivalent of about losing 0.2 gain, 0.2 points, bringing it to 20.50 Kenyan shillings per share. That is the I&M Bank. So if we may have a look at other companies, Uchumi Supermarket, it had a very interesting trend last week, and by this time last week it had a really high, almost a 6-point-something% upward movement in the stock price, and that was kind of like an impressive launch into the week as of last week. But today, Uchumi Supermarket is basically nothing much is being recorded here, nothing much has changed, but you have its share price trading at 0.22 Kenyan shillings as we speak right now. But of course, as the day goes by, you just never know what happens. So Uchumi Supermarket is also basically still operating in Kenya. Right here in Uganda, you don't see it anymore because it pulled out of the market. So now, if you have a look at other companies like Unga Group, there's nothing much on its, not much activity to see here on Unga Group's stock price, but you can be rest assured that its stock price is standing at 27 Kenyan shillings per share as we speak. So I'm using stock and share interchangeably, but they mean the same thing. So Nation Media as well, right over here, is also listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange. It's Nation Media Group, and basically you can see that its share price is up by 2.24%. That's quite something as well, and that's an equivalent of a gain of 0.45 points, bringing it to 20.5 Kenyan shillings per share. Now let's have a look also at Bamburi. Bamburi is also a company listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Right here you can see that its stock price is up by 1.39%, and that is indicated, that is an equivalent of a gain of 0.5 points on in the stock price, and thus bringing it to 36.50 Kenyan shillings per share. That's Bamburi. If you have at any one point invested or probably wishing to invest some of these companies, you can basically just Google them, see what they do, and then probably start to track them down, have a look at their websites and probably study about them and probably see how they're performing on the stock market each and every day for some months before you actually put in money. Or probably you can also access some of these players in the secondary market, including the brokers. You can access them and probably just ask them what stocks are really worth investing in at such a time as this, based on your investment goals. So having a look at housing finance as well, just right here, you can see that the share price, the stock price, is up by 9.06. That's quite something as well. So you have about two companies whose stock price is up by 9% and above. That is quite impressive this morning for them. So if you have your shares, or probably you bought some stock, that means your share price should be up. Your stock value should be up by 9.06%, and that's an equivalent of a 0.28 points gain, bringing it to 3.37 Kenyan shillings per share. That is housing finance. Also, Diamond Ken. Diamond Ken is also quite performing well. We can see here, and Diamond Ken is indicating here. It's being indicated here that its stock price is up by 6.19%, and that is an equivalent of a gain of 3.5 points, bringing it to 60 shillings, 60 Kenyan shillings per share. That is Diamond Ken stock. So it's one of the top performers this morning. Diamond Ken, then you have housing finance, then you have probably the other companies doing well. If you have a look at CFC Insurance, CFC Insurance is basically, it's being indicated here that its stock price is down by 2.15%, and that is an equivalent of a loss of about 0.14 points, bringing it to 6.36 Kenyan shillings per share. So that is CFC Insurance. So we have just basically finished a few companies here and there and basically seen their performance and how their stock is basically performing. So we have many of these other companies basically not really showing much of an activity. We don't see much of some bit of volatility with many companies, including Earguards Limited. Well, share price is at 12.95%. No activity. Kakuzi as well, company 415 Kenyan shillings per share. nothing much out of this morning. Kapchorwa as well. Kapchorwa is a place in Uganda, but it's a company as well in Kenya. So you can see here that its share price is 99.75 Kenyan shillings per share, but nothing much has changed also on its share price. You have Limuru Tea, nothing much as well has changed, but it is trading at a share price of 320 Kenyan shillings per share. That is quite something as well. So let's just stop right there and just go for a very short commercial break. I'm going to be right back with lots more.